Okay, so this is the part 2 kind of battle explanation, I suppose. So, as you can see, 4 gyrocopters, huge problem. However, I've got 3 marauder horse with throwing axes, so that's not going to be as big of an issue. Not to mention his infantry line is quite small, so the grind out fight, which is exactly what I want with my marauders, it's going to go pretty well because I can't kill his guys because his melee defense and armor's too high, but he can't kill my guys because his melee attack's too small. Chariots just kind of sponging up. It's actually pretty good because these chariots aren't going to do a huge amount of damage, so just soaking up organ gun shot is actually pretty effective for me. Okay, marauder horse is coming in to try and kill the gyrocopters, which they will do very well at. Gyrocopters are faster, but still. Yeah, for some reason I decided to drop a fireball. Don't know why, just does absolutely no damage. Okay, so this is like a weird glitch, right? You see this thing here, right? So what is that? I grouped both of my shielded and great weapons. So I grouped them and then I hard grouped them. So with a hard group, if you click on, say, these longbeards, instead of all of the units going after the longbeards, they'll essentially go in a line and they'll attack units in the line. So for example, this unit will go after that one will go after that, and then it'll be essentially what you have is you'll have line on line. But with gyrocopters, for some reason, they're still counted as a grounded enemy. So these marauders and these marauders will actually target these gyrocopters instead of targeting, say, the hammerers, which is kind of annoying because it means your entire line, instead of being one like cohesive line, it'll be broken into 3 parts, which is it takes just a little bit of extra micromanagement to get. You see how they're kind of trying to attack. It's just bizarre. I don't know why that does that. It's really annoying. So it means that my line here is just stuck and they're just going to get shot to pieces, which is so annoying. And I don't know, it's ah well. Right, I'm bringing my sorcerer around because what I want essentially is I want this guy to disrupt his line, or his missile line, whilst also buff my troops at the same time. So I dropped the flaming head on his organ guns just to try and stop them from firing for a second. See, these guys are already routing already, so. And over here I've managed to almost destroy one of these gyrocopters. Right, so I also threw my chariots, try to break these lines, but against longbeards they're essentially just going to bounce off them because they've got like super big heads or whatever. And pulling these guys out is so difficult because of just how heavily armoured and the amount of mass that the dwarves have means that they're just not going to get past. So these chariots are pretty much useless. If those were miners or something, it would make a huge amount of difference, but not against longbeards, so that was kind of my fault. So I'm at trolls with Sigvald. He brings these gyrocopters in for some reason, I'm not entirely sure why. I think that was a cascading flame, so it just makes the trolls that much harder to kill. It also increases their damage output, so in terms of weapon damage, I think it is, or armor piercing damage, one of the two. So it's just going to make these longbeards that just quicker to kill, because essentially I want to break a big line so I can then kind of flank them, but the thing about the dwarves, that's so difficult to do, especially with longbeards. Hammerers are obviously going to just hammer the shit out of these marauders, same with this flank. Yeah, these marauders are done. I managed to actually bring out 8 chariot, there's only 2 left, they've done nothing. 5 kills, pretty much worthless. These ones just as, well, actually 20 kills. I think these guys mostly killed these Corollas, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure. So this is where Marauder Horse is actually really good. So the gyrocopters are done, so I'm just going to start flinging axes into these hammerers, which is obviously the only, yeah, just take axe to the face. Back of the head technically. Hammerers are like the only unit that the dwarves have that can actually do real damage other than artillery, so just having these like cheap horsemen, well, not really that cheap, go after these hammers is great for me. And now, like I said before, Chaos Trolls, when they're constantly kind of route and come back, is both good, because essentially I just charged into hammerers that are already weak, so these hammers are pretty much done, which severely limits his killing power. Although he still has these hammers, which has 10 men dead, so That's going to be a problem. You know, those marauders are just gone. So I'm trying to duel with these quarrelers, which isn't going to be a very good engagement for me. So I just essentially just send the Chaos Sorcerer in here just to disrupt the quarrelers. I just don't want them firing on my lines, because it means that it'll just, the more meat shields that die, the quicker these trolls will rout and just also die, and it's the last thing I want, because otherwise it's going to be Sigvald versus the world, and Sigvald ain't going to win that, unfortunately. So yeah, just having this Chaos Sorcerer just annoy these Quarrelers. It's actually a pretty good trade-off, because even though he isn't going to do any real damage, these guys aren't going to do any real damage to him, so it's kind of like a limbo. And the less missiles I have firing on my Marauders, the better. So this is a huge problem though. This is what he was betting on from the start of the game, because he was probably not expecting Marauder Horse, so he was just expecting a big infantry engagement, drop as many bombs and steam guns. Is that what they fire? I'm not even sure, but this is the last thing I want. For some reason he's targeting Sigvald, I think, when he should have been targeting these trolls, because Sigvald isn't that important right now. It's the trolls. Or maybe he is. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, this is such a big kind of infantry blob that he could have been targeting the trolls, but hitting Sigvald and the Marauder. So over here, I'm just wrapping up some of the more dangerous troops. Although Thunderers, I'm not that scared of. It's more Quarrelers that I'm scared of, which is why I'm bringing my sorcerer just to disrupt them. And I've also turned these guys off skirmish, and I've just put them in a melee mode, because I just need rid of them. They're not going to do a whole lot of damage in terms of charge, because these are missile cavalry, not melee, but I just need them to disrupt. That's what they're doing. So I get a huge rout, which is the problem with trolls. I mean, there's 9 men left and they regenerate. Yeah, they still run away. It's crazy. I just whatever. Some of my marauders have decided to come back, but I'm essentially just trying to reinforce this infantry blob with Marauder Horse, and that'll be it. So it was Pyrrhic, but let's have a look at some of the kills. So these gyrocopters, I mean, that one didn't get killed because that was killed right at the start of the game, or routed at the start of the game by the Marauders. But just, yeah, these things can do a whole lot of damage. So I should have dedicated these horses to just constantly killing the gyrocopters. The Sorcerer actually did pretty well in just disrupting these skirmishers. Say 20 kills, 14 kills, 27 kills. So especially against a big line like this, they didn't do too good. Longbeards, expected them to do well. They lasted pretty long. Got a lot of kills against squishy units. So they weren't there to kill. They were there to hold. And they hold it pretty well. It was just, I ended up breaking the lines because I focused in the middle with the trolls and Sigvald, so especially when they're getting buffed by the fire wizard, it's going to be difficult for the Longbeards to do well. And then Hammeras, all of their kills were against squishy units, so probably what he should have done is he should have tried to bring his Hammeras closer into his main line so he could kill my trolls, because as soon as you kill the trolls, these guys aren't going to do well. These guys aren't going to do well. These guys will do kind of well. Well, they'll do well up until they get shot to pieces, because Quarrelers have 155 range, they have 55 range, so these guys will just die. Chariots did very little, and Sigvald is not, I mean, he isn't an armor piercing lord, but he still has high armor piercing, so he's going to do well. It's just against Umgrim, I don't know who would win in a fight between him and Umgrim. I'm assuming Umgrim, but it's just a quick explanation battle, I don't know, showcase, I guess. I mean, this is a pretty elite army, like Hammeras, Longbeards, Gyrocopters, Organ Gun. Thankfully the Organ Gun did very little, but that's a big issue that the Dwarves have. They have big powerful artillery but nothing to protect them. I mean, they have good strong infantry, it's just infantry's only good at frontal assaults, it's not good against mobility, so throw my Marauder Horse around or smash them with chariots is really quite a problem for the Dwarves. So I don't know, I'm going to try and get some more battles. I think I have 1 or 2 more savoury plays of Norsca, but not too many, so I've just really started using them. And they're not as bad as I thought, and they catch my opponent off guard, although against any other faction than Dwarves, they're going to suffer really badly. So it was just a quick battle, and see you next time, I guess.